Hey everyone, Phil from 3DP UK Tech Channel. Today's unboxing and build and review is of their ACMER P1S Pro. This was kindly sent over by the ACMER team, and I'm going to do a quick unboxing and a quick build, and then we'll go over to review, and we'll have some test samples on there and we'll see how this fares. Now, this particular model goes for around about £185 in UK money. Now, in terms of a budget, that is really good. I've heard some great things about this particular laser, so it'll be interesting to have a look at this. So once again, this is the ACMER P1S Pro, and we're going to have a quick unboxing now and over to that part of the video. Okay, this is the ACMER P1S Pro laser engraver. As I said earlier, we're going to do a quick unboxing now, see what's inside the actual box itself, and then we'll go through some of the specs of that, and then we'll go over to the build itself. Now, I'm probably going to fast track through the build and do a time lapse of that because there's so many videos of the build of this and it's not really going to add any value to this particular video. And then what we'll do is we'll do some test engrave with some of these samples that they've given us. We'll go through the instructions manual. So the first thing out of the box is the instructions manual, and as you can see, nice glossy manual there. It's got links to social media groups and Facebook groups, which is good. Gives you disclaimers, safety guidelines, what's in the box. So it's telling me that the machine size is 575, 560 and 200 millimeters in the actual size itself. The engraving size is 380 by 370, so slightly smaller than some of the standard ones, but nonetheless still enough to do some decent jobs. This is only a 6-watt laser, but from what I've seen, you can still manage to do some amazing projects, which is good. The laser wavelength is 445. We have a DC output of 24 volts. We also have compatibility software, which is the laser GRBL and LightBurn, which is what we're going to use. They also have the ACMER app, and then it's compatible with Mac, Windows and Android and iOS. So the types of materials that it can deal with is wood, bamboo, paper, plastic, leather, PCB boards, aluminium oxides, and non-reflective coatings, lacquered metals, ceramics, glasses, etc. The types of formats: PNG, NC, DCF, BMP, etc. So it's given me what's in the box, so we'll make sure that everything that's specified is there. It supplies goggles, which is always good, and all the standard stuff. It would have been nice to see a little bit more items in there to test on, because not everyone has that to hand like we do. And then it goes through the assembly steps, which is the next step of this video. So I won't go on all the way through that. It's probably likely just some details and stuff and how to connect it up to the computer. So that's that. Next out of the box is some wood boards. These look like 1-2 mil, which is good. I'll do some testing with that. Some foam packaging as always, which is always good to see. Let's check out the laser. So nicely packaged, as you can see here. So let's take that out and have a quick look at that. So yeah, quite like the styling of that. It also comes with a magnetic detachable cover, which is good. From what I've seen online, you have to do the actual measurements so the distance between the item that you're going to be engraving to the bottom of this actual laser engraver, but you have to do it with the cap off, so we'll be doing that. It also has an area where the air can push through, and from what I've also seen, there's a fan in here which it acts as a bit of an airflow, so it helps with cutting. Probably a good idea to remove the protective film, but we can do that nearer the end. Like I say, some of the earlier models didn't have a shroud that covered all the electronics, but this one does, which is really nice to see and easy to remove if you need to clean out the fans as well. Let's put that to one side. So the next out of box is the power cable and connection to the computer. So USB. We have some various screws and bolts, and they're also numbered, which is really good to see. Not a lot of companies actually spend time just to make it slightly easier for everyone, so I do like that. Next out of the box, some more goggles. Now, I'm always a bit dubious about goggles that are sent, whether they've actually been rated, so I do tend to use my own on that one. So next out of the box is the actual main board itself, so the power unit, and this is Wi-Fi capable. Nice metal frame, which is always good to see. It's the power cable, you've got the computer connection, you've got SD, and then you have like a mini HDMI cable or something like that. Gives you the specs on the back, all the power ratings, so it's always good to read that. Then the various cables that are going to connect throughout the whole of the actual engraver itself. So let's put that aside. Next out of the box we have what looks like a small motor. Not sure what part that's due to go on. Seems a bit weird that it's not connected. Normally you have them already pre-connected, so that's strange, but we'll see where that goes. Okay, so next out of the box, it looks as if it's the spindle and some covering for the actual frame, I guess. There's probably quite a few of those throughout the package. And then we have the frames itself. You've got like the numbering for it, which I like. It helps with sort of guiding when you're doing measurements. And you've got 4 of those, so sides, front and back. Put them down. And then we have the power unit and the power socket for your country. So in my case, it's the UK. Gives you all the usual ratings on there. So also we have the top part, so the main part where the actual laser goes on itself. Once again, numbered on the side. Like the fact that these particular timing belts are already on there. On some lasers that I've reviewed, you've actually had to install that part, but I'm sure I'll have to do that with the other parts. And the laser sits on here, just sits on the actual frame itself and screws on. So it's really nice and great material as well. And it also comes with limit switches, I've noticed. So these are all been protected for in transit. So as I reveal it, it's got one there. I believe there's 4 in total. Various tools, and then the measuring height for the distance for the actual engraving. And then we have a bracket for the back of the laser itself. Just undoes, and then you screw it in and connects up. And then I believe this is to allow the laser to move up and down for focus. It's always good to just double check, make sure everything is out of the box. So what last thing out, I believe, is the 4 legs. So for the whole of the laser engraver itself. I believe there's 4 there. There should be. Otherwise it might be a difficult build. Yeah. Okay. Okay, a quick word from today's video sponsor, PCBWay.com. As you can see from the website, it's really easy to use. They have an instant quote system. They do PC board prototyping, PCB assembly, rigid flex. They also do 3D printing services and CNC services. So if you click on each of those different sections, they will take you into like a quote system where you can select exactly your requirements. They deliver worldwide and they have instant payments. They're well respected within the prototyping community. That's PCBWay.com, today's video sponsor. Thank you to PCBWay.com. Okay, so that is everything out of the box laid out onto the table. As you can see, everything in there is ready to go. The instructions look fairly simple, but what I'm going to do now is a time lapse of me putting it together. Really, there's so many videos out there of that. I don't believe it's that valuable for me to show it again. I think I'll spend more time on the actual putting it to the actual review itself and showing the prints and the cuts. So yeah, over to that part. Okay, so everything is put together on the ACMER P1S Pro. Had some difficulties with a few areas, mainly around the belts just going through the pulley. But once I watched a few videos, that wasn't too bad. It took me about half an hour with me just showing you on and off where I was at. I didn't go into the full put together because there's so many videos, and the ACMER actual video is a lot more detailed than mine would be. So as you can see, it's all put together now. The cable management's a bit strange. There's some carriages that you connect up to. The actual wires were easy to connect up. They're very clearly labeled on each part, as you can see. You can probably tidy the belts away once you're sure that the actual tension is correct. So what I'm going to do now is connect it up to LightBurn, and we're going to run a few test prints. So everything is connected up to LightBurn. I went through all the information on the manual, and this is now connected. So if I head over to home on here and click that, the laser goes to its home, which is front left. Follow the instructions in the manual and it does all that for you. I also tightened up the eccentric nuts on the X and Y just to ensure that we get a smooth movement. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to do a test engrave. I'm going to put my honeycomb bed there and use the supplied wood. We then need to make sure the focus is and we'll do that, and then we'll do a test print. So as I mentioned earlier, we need to remove this safety glass, and then you'd need to put this metal tool, which is in the kit, loosen off this little nut on the side. This drops down, and then just tighten it up in place like I have, and then you can remove that, and then that is in focus. You can put the actual cover back on if you so choose. It's quite low down for some reason, but yeah, once you've added that, it's up to you whether you have that on or not. It's really choice. And we'll do a quick engrave. I'm going to do a number of different projects on this, and then we'll do a final recap at the end of the video. So just got a little emblem that I managed to get off the USB card that was supplied. It was a preset LightBurn file, so all the settings are as that. I've put it into the correct position and I'm just about to press start. And there we go, we are burning. So it says it's going to take about 5 minutes, so we'll come back in 5 minutes time, have a quick look at that. Okay, so it's pretty much done now. It should pretty much stop about there and it goes back to its origin. We're just going to move this slightly out of the way and have a look at the actual ACMER emblem that was supplied on the USB card, and that has come out pretty damn perfect, I would say. Now these settings weren't something that I did, this was supplied on the memory card. I thought I'd just test out initially, and then obviously I'm going to carry out some tests on various different things such as slate and other types of wood. I'm also got some scratch paper coming, so I'm going to do some amazing designs with that. I'm going to use this for that and do some testing. So yeah, over to the next part of the video, which is the overall thoughts and review of the ACMER P1S Pro. Okay, that was the review of the ACMER P1S Pro. So I've carried out a number of different types of engraving. I've also done some cutting as well, and it didn't seem to have any issues with that. Obviously, being a 6-watt laser, you're going to need to adjust the power and speeds accordingly. Now, with any type of new laser, I always carry out material tests, and basically you do that with your slate, your wood, your card, whatever it is you were doing really. So I've done a number of different slates. As you can see, I've done this Stormtrooper, and that's come out really, really well. Earlier on in the video, I would have shown the settings I used. Feel free to use those, but like I say, material test is key. This one came out slightly grayer than I hoped, but I'm going to whitewash it and then spray it and see if that actually brings up the actual quality of that, but otherwise that still looks really good. And then we've got, I guess, a baby Yoda, so Grogu, but he looks slightly older than the actual film itself. But once again, that beautiful 3D effect, the colouring of this, and I mean, for me, slate with lasering is probably one of the best things that I like doing with this. So yeah, the other thing I did, kind of sticking with the Star Wars theme, I'm guessing, another Grogu. So this is just like a cheese board type of thing. I probably stretched the image out slightly too much, so it doesn't quite look to scale. And then the engraving, I did a time lapse a little bit earlier on in the video, you would have seen that, and I think that come out really well. Once again, I left the settings for that. This one was one of my earlier engraves. I think I kind of got the imaging wrong, but it gives you an idea of what it's capable of doing. This was actually with the wood that was supplied. I'm guessing it's like a 2mm. I found it was slightly warped as well, so just be mindful of that when you're doing your measurements. And then lastly, something I've just recently done towards the end of the video, and this is scratch paper. Now, I kind of sort of showed it earlier. What this is got like a protective coating. People use it for artwork, and I see somebody else put online, literally it's for scratching. So using the laser, I thought, you know what, let's give it a go. And here's the image that you can see here. Now this Yoda, I think is coming out absolutely amazing. All the different colors here, as you can see, and yeah, done a really good job with that. I'm really pleased with that. Okay, so as you can see from some of the engravings I've done and some of the other little projects I did for this video, you can see that this 6-watt ACMER P1S Pro is definitely a worthy investment in my eyes. It does a really good job, quite easy to set up, a few little teething issues around some of the cables and stuff like that, but nothing too major. Overall, for the price set, what you get from it and the quality that it provides, it's got a nice sturdy frame. Everything's using quite decent amount of material. I also like the measurements around the edges, so it helps with sort of gauging. I would definitely invest in a honeycomb bed with any type of laser. But for like a budget laser, this is, for me, is a standout laser for the cost it is actually involving. So thanks again to ACMER P1S Pro and to the team that sent this over for me to review. I'm going to leave some links in the description, and hopefully there'll be some discount codes for you. Yeah, so while it's at a decent price in the UK, I believe it's about £160 at the moment, which is, for a laser of this quality, is really worthwhile. So thanks again everyone. That's Phil from 3DP UK Tech Channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you all again soon.